Former porn star turned internet vlogger, social media influencer Lana Rhoades took to her podcast this week to dish out some vague details about a basketball player who took her on a date and also brought along a backup plan in case she wasn't down to fuck. It's a good old-fashioned whodunit where I'm cross-referencing podcast appearances with NBA schedules with astrological signs to find out who it is. Don't ever say the 1 Minute Man didn't do anything for you. So Lana Rhoades on her podcast, 3 Girls, 1 Kitchen, tells the story of when she was in New York and she went to a basketball game, afterwards going out with one of the players. He also invited along a fuck buddy, basically as a plan B in case Lana didn't want to get down.
So after the game, I went on a date. The guy who invited me also invited one of the other girls, and he springs on me. My fuck buddy for the past year is coming with us.
So we're in New York City, so that means one of 2 teams, obviously, the New York Knicks or the Brooklyn Nets. Now, you can cross-reference this information with the information she dropped on the BFFs podcast with Dave Portnoy and Josh Richards about a month earlier, where she says she was in Miami partying with a basketball player who was also in town.
Who was the person?
It's just like a random guy.
So we're just gonna lie? This is where I'm in trouble.
it's like-
You're really not gonna say who the people were?
No.
Who was in town that weekend? The Brooklyn Nets. So we have narrowed down the team. Knicks, you're out. It's now down to the Brooklyn Nets. Who did Lana Rhoades go out with in Miami and then also back in New York, who brought along a fuck buddy as plan B? Now, also on that BFFs podcast, Dave Portnoy began to talk about how he personally knew the guy that she was out with the night before and was itching to talk about it publicly, even though Lana wanted to keep it off the podcast.
I'm trying to get your person to call into the show because I'm like friends with them.
Which one?
The one that shall not be named.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll move on a little bit. We'll get more into you. So
Steve, how could you?
I told you not to tell me anything because
Steve, no.
I'm impossible. Like,
If you tell him something, he's gonna.
My mind immediately begins to start spinning thinking about Dave Portnoy, Barstool Sports, and their connections. Blake Griffin, a guy who's gone out with Kendall Jenner and been on the party scene. Definitely could have been in contact with Barstool guys. Dave could have been talking to him. All along, I thought Lana Rhoades was dating Blake Griffin. However, on 3 Girls, 1 Kitchen, Lana Rhoades drops the information that the guy she went out with was a Virgo. So let's take to the Brooklyn Nets roster, look at the birth date of everyone on the squad this year. Lo and behold, who is the only Virgo on the team born in that September window? Kevin fucking Durant. A high-profile enough player to date a Lana Rhoades, a crazy enough guy to bring a backup on a date, a Virgo, speaks to Dave Portnoy after their entire beef with Michael Rappaport. If the shoe fits, Cinderella, Kevin Durant is banging Lana Rhoades. Now, we can go right ahead and smash that allegedly button because who knows, I gotta cover my bases here. And also, part of me just doesn't know if it could be Kevin Durant. On the one hand, Kevin Durant, I can't even imagine him on a date. Sometimes I think of KD as like an asexual alien, like he's just here to dominate on the basketball court and tweet at haters and troll people on the internet. He doesn't have any time to take girls on dates and woo them and have plan A and B and coordinate schedules. He seems like he's way above all that bullshit. I can't even imagine Kevin Durant banging. He's like 9 feet tall and he's all lanky and shit. On the other hand, there have been times where Kevin Durant has been uncontrollably horny on the bird, talking about how he wants to drink Scarlett Johansson's bathwater, talking about how thick Erykah Badu looks. And also, if you listen to the 3 Girls, 1 Kitchen podcast, the type of guy that Lana Rhoades describes on the date, saying that he doesn't have any likes or interests and that he doesn't have any favorites, that sounds exactly like the Kevin Durant we've come to know on Twitter. He hates small talk. He always says, I'm gonna just do me and chill. Sounds like the type of guy who doesn't do that type of date chit chat. Oh, and by the way, did I mention that Lana Rhoades is pregnant right now? If Lana Rhoades is having Kevin Durant's baby, holy fucking shit. You cannot even script a juicier ending to a saga than that. HBO, you better get these people on the line to write the script for your next story because this is the greatest tale going. 6 more months before that baby comes out because the season finale of this one is gonna be a doozy.